Hey guys, it's Roxy Lee from geekxgirls.com. I promised you guys a question and answer video, and I am going to be giving you one now. Yay! I'm wearing my ever so stylish monkey hat simply because I've worn hats in like every single video I've made like this. So I thought I would keep to tradition and keep with the hat, and I have lots of hats, and this is one of my favorites. It has little fuzzy balls. I said fuzzy balls. Yeah, so I'm gonna get right into it. Actually, no, first I'm gonna talk a little bit about what I've been up to lately. I've been working on some costumes because it is event season, and I'm wearing striped pajamas too. I'm very stylish right now, rather hip. Yeah, so it's event season. We have a lot coming up. I have Anime North on May 25th, and that's going to be really exciting. The Geek Girls are going to be involved in some cool super secret game show at night, so that's going to be really fun. I'm going as Kurena Yuhi from Naruto, and I've been working on that costume. You guys saw a little bit of it yesterday. I had to cut out like 12 sheets of white fabric from hand, and it was really annoying, and took me like 4 hours to iron it and fold it and all this stuff. And all I have to do really is get the red blouse so I can start attaching it all, and then I'm pretty much done. Actually, no, I have to wait till my contacts arrive, and then the costume's pretty much done. This is going to be the first costume I actually make completely from scratch, sewing from head to toe. The one thing that isn't going to be completely put together is probably just my face, because I already have the headband and I have long black hair, so it's not going to be that hard for me to do her makeup and her hair. And with the contacts, I'm just hoping the contacts fit and they don't bother me, because I wear contacts and I got prescription, so I'm just hoping the prescription is right and that I don't get tunnel vision and that, because I start to freak out. But yeah, I'm really used to wearing contacts, shouldn't be a problem. I'm going to be getting bandages to wrap around my thighs and my wrists, and I have the mesh, and yeah, made the sandals. It's going to be cool. Then I have Niagara Comic-Con. Oh no, sorry, I have ToyCon first, which I'll probably just wear what I usually wear, probably a Zatanna or Riddler or something like that, something I already have. I might be revamping my Lara Croft for then, if I can find some actual holsters. But yeah, ToyCon is a lot of fun, smaller event. We have a blast. We go with our friends. We just chill out, and it's not as many people, but it's just a lot of fun to just talk with everyone. Then I have Niagara Falls Comic-Con, which is going to be so much fun. Lots of geek girls are going. I'm going to be hanging out with my friends, and I'm going to be working at my friend Andrew's booth, AS Creations. He makes sculpts and full body Ninja Turtle costumes, and he makes the Freddy what is it? Michael Myers masks, and like he does all these cool Bane masks and stuff like that. So I'm going to be helping out at his booth with Mackenzie Smith Bubbles, who's one of my good friends, and I will be doing April O'Neil for that. And I've been looking online for wigs, and I found like my absolute perfect wig. And I found a pattern for my jumpsuit, just got to get the fabric. And one of my friends, Rachie, who I just got introduced to, who added me to the Naruto big group, which is kind of awesome, because now I have like a big group of Naruto cosplayers to like shoot with. She's gonna give me her white black cat boots, so I've like perfectly just lucked out with this entire thing. Jumpsuit I'm making from scratch, so that should be interesting. And I'm gonna be finding like an old shoulder video camera to like go with it, hopefully with a microphone attached, and it's gonna be fun. And then I might do Lara Croft the next day. I might not suit up the next day, but Saturday I will be suiting up. And then I have, I think, another ToyCon, and then Fan Expo, which is my birthday weekend. So I always have to go to Fan Expo. I don't know if I'm getting a booth yet. I might not. I don't know. We're still working out the details. But I'm hoping, cross my fingers, that we do, because it's my birthday weekend and I love spending it at Fan Expo. It's a lot of fun. And then I'll be doing like 6 costumes. I found a really cool Siren Gem outfit, so I might be doing that. Who knows? And Edward Scissorhands I'm hoping to complete. I might do like 3 female and then 3 crossplays, just to keep with like what I love to do. And that's what I'm working on right now. Yay! And I have some body paint shoots coming up. I have a big secret one with four of my friends. That's going to be really awesome. So yeah, exciting. So let's get to the question part. You guys have sent me so many awesome questions. Yeah, I'm gonna do shout outs. I apologize ahead of time because I suck at pronouncing names, like really bad. So I'm gonna sound it out and it's gonna be terrible and you can all laugh at me. But yeah, I'm gonna answer them. If I'm not comfortable with them, I'll let you know, but for the most part, they're pretty much awesome. So let's start with Anthony Byrne. Yeah. Anthony. He asked, what one movie special effects makeup impressed you the most, and what one movie would you have loved to work on in the same department? Okay, the one movie that I was watching the behind the scenes that really inspired me to become a creature designer, which is what I want to do, was Silent Hill. And I was watching the behind the scenes, how they made all the creatures, and I was literally glued to the screen like, I have to do this. I was in tears by the end of it because I was so like passionate about what they were doing that I was just like, this is it, this is what I need to do. So Silent Hill was the first movie that really made it click in my head. And then Pan's Labyrinth was another one because Doug Jones is one of my favorite people and he played most of the monsters, and the makeup, I would never have guessed it was him, which is amazing, and Abe Sapien. What one movie special effects impressed you the most? Okay, that's gonna be so freaking hard for me to even figure out one for you. There's so many good ones. Probably because it's one of my favorite movies, Legend, Tim Curry's character. I don't know, it's rather simple, but it's also just so intense, and since it was such a classic movie and the special effects wasn't at it where it was today, it was like the first of its kind for me, that it's just such a big makeup and such big prosthetic pieces that it was so overwhelming. And when I first watched it, and I was a huge fan of Tim Curry, I never knew it was him. So that's a big like good indication of the makeup for me. Other than that, probably the finger man in Pan's Labyrinth was like, I can't even watch it. I'm so terrified of it. And when I'm terrified of like a creature makeup, that's when you know it's good. Moving on. Daniel M. Noves. Hi Daniel. Have you ever read the Wheel of Time books? No, I have no idea what they are, but if they're good and you're suggesting them, I will go look into them. Do you think all the popularity of geek nerd culture will go away like all fads do? I don't really think it's a fad. I don't think if you're a nerd, you just all of a sudden wake up one day and you're like, oh, this isn't cool anymore. Well, maybe some people, but I think it's a personality trait. It's not really a fad to me. I think it's considered a fad now because it's just become more embraceable at this point and trendy, but I don't think anyone's gonna really wake up and decide that they don't like all the things they love. So I don't know if it'll ever go away. It might calm down a bit. So like the cosplay and all that stuff might calm down and it might be less popular to be doing it, but at the same time, people will always do it. It'll always be around, and it'll pick back up again, and it'll slow down again. It depends how many conventions, because now the conventions are all over the world. So there will always be conventions, and there will always be people cosplaying, and I don't think it'll ever really go away, and I really hope it doesn't. So that's my answer. Hugh Darth, oh, Prince Will. Hugh, hi Hugh. When will we have flying cars? We don't already have flying cars? Shocking. I don't know. I'm gonna say 2030, and you can put your money on that one, folks. When will we have flying cars? When we can actually make flying skateboards first, maybe? Make a hoverboard, and then maybe I'll know. Emmanuel Matthias Barija? I know this is probably the least sexiest way of pronouncing that name, but Emmanuel. Which one is your favorite Bioshock? Bioshock 1 or Bioshock 2, and why? Okay, this question had to be asked. It's so hard for me to choose between the two. Like, they're so close to me that it's one of those things that I don't really think I have a favorite. I would say Bioshock for story and Bioshock 2 for gameplay and weapons. So if Bioshock 1 were to have the same weapons and powers as in Bioshock 1, it would be Bioshock 1. But at this point, it's split so evenly down the middle that I can play them back to back and it's like the exact same game for me, except with a different concept. So that's why I love them so much, is that I wasn't sitting there being like, oh, this one's not as good. Like, you know, it's kind of okay. Which was with me with Mass Effect. Mass Effect 2 was kind of like meh for me. But then Mass Effect 1 and 3 picked it back up. Nate Thompson. Hi, Nate. How on earth do you find the time to do all those amazing makeup jobs on yourself as well as your other projects? Do you have a time machine and never sleep? No, I actually don't sleep. I have insomnia, so I go to bed at like 8 o'clock in the morning and I wake up at like 3 the next day. So even though I get the same or less amount of sleep as everyone else, I'm sleeping at different times. I don't have a time machine, contrary to popular belief. How do I find time? I have lots of time, actually. I don't work at the moment because of my health, and so I wake up and I sit on my butt and I do absolutely nothing. And when I feel creative, I do makeup. It takes me about, depending on what I do, an hour to 2. It's easier to do it on myself, to be completely honest with you, because I zone out and I can screw up and not worry about it. When I'm doing it on other people, I try to do it perfect the first time around. My other projects, I kind of like balance them, I guess. I'll spend 1 week doing costumes and then I'll spend another week being makeup creative. It depends really if I have an event coming up or not. The makeups I usually do on myself are just because I'm bored and have nothing else to do. It's the only time I'm creative. Sarah, Mummy to 5. I love you, Sarah. Thank you very much for sharing my stuff all the time. You're awesome. Your favorite YouTube video you have ever made and why? I've made a lot of YouTube videos. I don't know if you know that I have 2 YouTube accounts and I also run I take care of the Geek Girls one. So my other one has like over 100 videos of me singing, and then my Marilyn's Men role playing is all my cosplay and makeup related ones, which have about 25. So I think my Catwoman one was my favorite, ultimately because it was like performing and cosplay and makeup and really cool because it was edited by my friend Noah. So I think that one was pretty much my favorite. I watch it like every now and then because I'm narcissistic. Greg Barnes. Hi, Greg. What do you think the most over cosplayed character is? Which character do you think people dress up as the most? Harley Quinn? I'm sorry, like, honest to God, it is the most over cosplayed character, but at the same time, everyone loves a Harley cosplayer. Like, you don't hear people being like, oh my God, Harley again, bleh. Like, it's because it's one of those characters, you can have so many different takes on it, it never gets boring. Like, you can have 50 cosplayers at a convention being Harley, and only 3 out of those 50 will be the same. It's kind of cool in that fact. Like, you can change it and still know who it is, and it can still be considered appropriate for the DC universe. Like, my take, a lot of people thought it was Joker, but as long as I knew it was Harley, I loved it. And like, a lot of people did pick up on it, but I wanted to go in a completely different direction, and you can do that with her. So even though it is the most over cosplayed character, even still to this day, it's kind of just, I'm not as sick of seeing it as I probably should be at this point with her being my favorite character. I love it. I love seeing people's take on it. Another one is Lara Croft, which I'm guilty of doing Lara Croft, so what can I say? But I think it's one of those things that every time that a Lara Croft costume comes out, you see like every girl doing it the next week. So, but I mean, if that's your favorite character, if you love that character, why the hell not? Go for it. Do it. I like Lara Croft, so there you go. Those are just like the most I see. It doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It's just what I see the most of. Richard Rodriguez. From a creative standpoint, what next challenge are you most looking forward to achieving? Love you, Roxy Lee. I love you too. I don't know why I keep waving, like, hi. From a creative standpoint, what challenge are you most looking forward to? Just all the costumes that I want to accomplish. I started off doing smaller costumes like Lara Croft and Riddler, things I already had lying around and things that I could piece together easily without having to do any fabrication, well, little fabrication and little sewing. But I'm really looking forward to learning to sew with the machine, like I'm learning right now, and using patterns and piecing together weapons and armor. Femme Kratos is probably the one that I'm looking forward to the most in terms of scale of how intense that build is going to be, because I not only have to do a full body makeup, I have to do a full body armor, and I also have to sew together using leather and fabric. So it's going to be completely every single aspect of cosplay in one, and I'm kind of interested to see how I attack it and how intense it's going to be for me. Jill Harry O'Rourke. Hi, Jill. One of my favorites. I mean, I don't have favorites, but she's my little lady friend. What do you find is the hardest working yet kindest makeup remover? Okay, so you said that you rub your face and it usually makes you really red. I have extremely sensitive skin, so I've gone across the board with makeup removers on this one, and I found that no matter what I use, if I'm rubbing my face with anything, no matter how gentle it is, I'm gonna get red and splotchy for like about 5 to 10 minutes. You just want to make sure that it has no alcohol in it, like, and even if it does, like a lower base alcohol, because alcohol's really it really affects your skin, and it really dries it out too. I mean, it is an effective remover, but I would use it only for prosthetics and like special effects makeup bases, because you have to remove harsher makeup. But if it's just your normal everyday makeup, I would go and get a sensitive skin makeup wipe. And the ones that I use are like the no-name brands, but you look at the ingredients and you just make sure that there's no harsh chemicals in it, and that it also says on it for sensitive skin. And when you're using your makeup, don't rub, just lightly brush in your T-zones and then wash your face directly after with water and pat towel dry. It's the easiest way to remove your makeup. Or you can use oil-based eye makeup removers first around your eyes if they're more sensitive, which is basically like little circle pads. You can buy them in like a little tub, and they're just oil-based, and you just basically rub them around, and you don't sit there rubbing, you just do that, and then you use your normal makeup wipes, and then you go and wash your face directly after, and the oil loosens up all the mascara and the eyeliner, and it takes it right off. Pete Hamby. I like that name. Who wins in a fight, Bubba Fett or Scorpion from Mortal Kombat? Or will you marry me? I can't marry you. I'm sorry. I know. I wish we could. Unrequited love. Don't leave me. Who wins in a fight, Bubba Fett or Scorpion? Well, considering I'm not a big Bubba Fett fan, I know, shoot me now. And I don't think he was that big of a badass, or if he was that big of a badass, they didn't really give him time to shine. But Scorpion's more supernatural, and they would never be in the same universe together, because, let's be honest. But Scorpion, I would probably win, because he's Scorpion, and he's just has more abilities than Bubba Fett has, even though Bubba Fett has a gun. So, but then again, their aim's kind of shite. So I don't know, that's a good toss-up, but I would go with Scorpion, because he could probably just rip his throat out before Bubba Fett even got a chance to lift his gun. So I'm gonna go with him. Plus, I love Scorpion a lot. Okay. I'm sorry, this is either Mark or Marquis or Marquois. I'm sorry, I'm gonna call you Mark and hope that's all right. And I can't pronounce your last name because it looks really French. Guilbiel? God, I suck at this. Ugh. I met at Toronto Comic Con with his beautiful daughters, and Cara Dwin was one of the nicest little girls I've ever met in my life, and she bought a picture and told me about her Halloween escapades, and I was literally just swooning. My heart was like, blew up in my chest. Is there anyone no longer living that you would like to have met? Who is it and why? Marilyn Monroe. Come on. Come on. I mean, my whole room is littered with Marilyn Monroe paraphernalia and photos, and I have her books, and I just idolize that woman like no one's business. My YouTube pages are Marilyn Monroe and Marilyn Monroe paying. I mean, I'm just in love with her. So she would have been my number one. And Freddie Mercury, unfortunately, he died before I even got the chance to attend one of his concerts. My family and I are huge Queen fans. It's my favorite band, my favorite singer, my favorite everything. So he's someone that I also idolize. So I wish I could have met the two, just for completely different reasons. One for performing aspect and the other just because she was such an amazing woman. Antonio Burton, what got you into cosplay? I was always big on Halloween, and I always really made my costumes elaborate and my makeup elaborate. And then I worked for a graphic novel called Bad Kids Go to Hell, and we were booth babes at Toronto Comic Con and Fan Expo in 2010, and we were dressing as characters from the novel. So that kind of got me into it, and then I met a bunch of people, and I was seeing all the wicked costumes, and I was like, oh my god, this is my life, like I need to do this. And I just kind of lost my shit after that, and that's how it happened. What is the craziest moment you had at a con? This is him continued. What is the craziest moment you had at a convention when it made you go, really? This just happened? We had a stalker when we worked for Bad Kids Go to Hell, and he followed us around. He would talk to me about virginity and got mad when I said I wasn't a virgin. Sorry, Mom. He got mad at me and was like scolding me, and then was talking about his weapons collection and how he was, yeah. And then they kicked him out, and we had to get security escort us around all day. And he found his way back in like a freaking stalker ninja and was hiding behind the booth staring at us for the rest of the day. And we would see him at different points in the day just standing there staring at us. And we were really creeped out. Like, I tried to engage him and be nice to him, but it's just, with people like that, you can't engage them. Like, I don't want to be rude, but at the same time, it makes them feel like they can continue on with that kind of behavior, and it's not acceptable. I mean, it's not, I wouldn't do that to anybody, so why is it okay for you to do it to me? It was really scary. We were actually really scared. So that was one of the moments where I was like, is this really, like, why is this happening? What type of signature do you do on your costumes? Kind of like your own mark or spin on things. But everybody knows that none of my costumes are a replica. None of my costumes are exactly spot on. I try to get as close as possible, but I don't. Makeup, I think, is my one spot on mark of character for me. If I am doing a badass character, I'm always going to do some sort of a special effects wound. Alice, chest wound. Crow, forehead wound. Harley, side wounds. Zoe, cheek wound. Laura Croft. I didn't do a Laura Croft wound for the first time, but I will the second time. I'm doing her really bloodied up. But yeah, I try to add some kind of gore effect into everything that I do. Shepard had the scars. Yeah, so that's my mark, stamp of Roxy approval. Dominic Lepour. I like saying that. Dominic Lepour. I'm not even saying it right, I don't think, but it sounds nice. How long is this now? 22. Oh, jeez. What's one of the most challenging costume techniques you have learned? Hand sewing? No, I don't know how to use a sewing machine, so I sew everything by hand, and it's not fun. Don't let anyone tell you differently. Not fun. It could probably also be fabrication, putting props together and stuff like that. I'm good with, like, MacGyvering it, but I'm not good with like actual warbler and foam and stuff like that. But when I made my boomer bile, that was probably the hardest thing I've ever learned, because I had to just piece a tub of peanut butter and like metal screws and like a cap and spray paint and tape, and I was like, I have all these things, what do I do? And I kind of just went Martha Stewart on its ass, and it became a boomer bile. Sean D. Broadwater. If you could become any female character, hero, etc., who would it be and why? Well, I don't really like heroes, so I'm going to change this one around a bit, because I'm not really a fan of superheroes. I'm going to say that I would be either Poison Ivy. I'm going to go with villains or anti-heroes or whatever. I would be Poison Ivy, because I love her, and I feel like I'm a lot like her in some respects. Or, if we're going kind of heroes, I would be Roxy Freefall from Gen 13, because she's kind of sassy, and I like sassy. I don't know why I said it like that, don't ask. Michael Fell. Have you ever seen the sci-fi show Firefly? Come on. I probably would be like executed if I hadn't. If so, how did you feel when it was canceled? I went into it knowing it was canceled. Like, I watched it I watched it maybe 6 months ago for the first time. I had been a huge fan of Serenity, so people were like, hey, well, you have to watch the show. But I had no means to watch it because I didn't have the money to buy the seasons, nor did I have Netflix, nor did I know that online TV watching was even possible because I'm technologically illiterate. So I just watched it not too long ago, and I watched it within 2 days, like back to back, just straight, just sitting there glued to the TV. It was such a good show. Like, I laughed, I cried, I loved, I lived. It was amazing, and I went into it knowing it was canceled, so I kind of knew when I got to the last 2 episodes, I'm like, I don't want to watch them. I don't want it to end. So it's kind of bittersweet because, like, you want to watch it and you know it's going to be so epic, but you also know that there's no more of it. So I was kind of really bummed. But I'm hoping that enough people can riot to bring it back. If we can riot to change the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from being aliens back into mutants, we can riot to get freaking Firefly back. Let's be honest. Okay, I'm not even attempting to pronounce this. Dan, let's see if you can pronounce this. His last name is Pietrasiewicz. I'm gonna call you Dan P. Dan Pietrasiewicz. What are your thoughts on older cosplayers? I love them. I wish my mom cosplayed. At a recent convention I went to, some of the cosplayers were in their 40s and 50s. So do you think there's an age when people should stop cosplaying? Is there an age when people should stop drawing, or singing, or acting, or dancing? I don't think so. So I don't really think there should be an age when people should stop doing what they love. I mean, there's certain outfits that should be left. I mean, I don't want to say that because you can do what you want. But at the same time, like, I'm the kind of person that dress for your body, dress for what makes you comfortable. If you got things hanging out, I mean, I don't have to like it, but I don't have to look at it either. That's the way I see it. Yeah, so I don't know. Cosplay on. It's so rad to see people in like their 60s dressing up. I love it. So, yeah. I wish more people submitted to Geek Girls who were in their 40s and 50s. That would be amazing. Joshua Adi. I'm just going to say it every way. And whatever way I say it right, that's what I meant. Most expensive, least expensive cosplay. Most expensive was... probably Riddler. Yes. Riddler only because I had to buy a lot of small pieces for that. So the jacket was like $12 at a thrift store. But all like the little fabrics and hats, the stuff that goes on the hat and like the makeup, that cost a lot of money. Not a lot, but it was like, it was like $65 in total, which isn't even a lot, but that's the most expensive one. Least expensive cosplay was Lara Croft because I had it all hanging around. I literally spent nothing and I made it the night before. I think I bought $2 knives from the dollar store. That's about it. Length of time in creating. Longest. Poison Ivy was the longest. And Lara Croft was the shortest. Poison Ivy simply because with all the dyeing and the clothing and the leaves being sewed on by hand one by one to my underwear and all the makeup and the hair, it took a lot of time to get into that. Shortest was Lara Croft, like I just said. And how long have you been creating cosplays? For 3 years. That's it. I mean, no, because I've been doing it every Halloween, but it's usually stuff I just have hanging around. So probably like 6 years I've been doing costumes. Steve Beamish, what inspired you to do cosplay and makeup? Who are your biggest influences? Inspired me to do cosplay was just seeing all the amazing cosplayers at Comic-Con. to be honest with you. That's it. Just seeing everybody having so much fun and knowing that I love doing it to begin with, it just made me feel like, oh my God, there's a community for this. I had no idea. What inspired me to do makeup? After my car accident, I kind of had to pick a new career because dancing and performing wasn't going to be in the cards anymore, not to the level or an athlete. It wasn't going to happen because I just had too many injuries and just I couldn't get back into it the way that I was in it before. So I knew I had to pick a different career. I knew I loved doing makeup every Halloween, and then I just kind of started doing it to pass the time. And I realized I was good at it. I had a knack for it. So then I just kept going and going, and then I would feel comfort every single time I would do a makeup. So, and I would feel proud. So that's basically what got me into it, was just kind of realizing I needed a change in my life. So I decided that would be the change. My biggest influences in cosplay are Yaya Han, because her fabrication is insane in the membrane. Freddie Nova is my biggest inspiration, just for sheer courage and love and passion for what she does. Like, and she's just the sweetest person in the world, so she's my other inspiration. My friends inspire me every single day. Like, all of the girls from Geek Girls are continually inspiring me to do better and be better, and just making me feel like I can do it. So all those girls are inspirations. Makeup wise, Tom Savini is probably my biggest, and he is going to be at Niagara Falls Comic Con, so I'm really excited. I'm kind of nervous, but yeah. I don't know, like, I don't really have any makeup artists that I'm like completely dedicated to, or that I can say really got me into it. It's more so just characters I've seen that inspired me, like movies and stuff like that inspired me to want to do that stuff. So I don't really have a favorite makeup artist that highly influenced my makeup. I'd say Tim Burton inspired me to be a makeup artist, to be honest, because he's my dream person to work for. Andrew Segovia. What has your cosplay and makeup artist journey been like so far? Amazing. It's honestly, has its ups and downs with hit and miss cosplays and makeups, but honest to God, it's so much fun. Like, I've met so many amazing people and made so many amazing friends, and met crazy celebrities, and like done interviews, and like, I don't know, it's just like, it's surreal. It's such a surreal experience. And I started doing it just completely because I wanted to be in a community where I felt like I belonged, and I would meet people that I could talk to and have fun with. But I never in a million years even dreamed that cosplay would be like this important to me at this point, but it is. So it's been great. It's been great. Most memorable moment experience to date was meeting Doug Jones and Christopher Lloyd. That was probably my most memorable experience. Doug Jones is the most amazing person in the world, and we ate lollipops with him, and he was awesome. Most memorable moment experience otherwise would be when Mark Silvestri shared my Witchblade video, and I lost my shit a little bit. Your favorite blooper moment? I popped a tit out on the Just. That's always going to be my most memorable blooper moment. My tit popped out while I was on the Just Dance stage dressed as Alice, because I can't wear a bra with that costume. Yep, just full on tit pop. Glorious. And apparently we're being filmed. Great. And what are you looking forward to doing the most in the future? Just making bigger and better costumes, doing all the characters I've always wanted to do, getting amazing shots done so I can have them forever. And when I have kids and grandkids, I can look back and be like, dude, your mom was kind of cool. Kind of cool. Even though by then it'll probably be like the most embarrassing thing in the world for them. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just looking forward to always like expanding my creativity and challenging myself, and just having fun and going to bigger conventions and meeting my favorite idols and celebrities, and just making new friends. And Friend time. Andrew Nevis. How did you get into cosplay, and did you have a mentor, buddy, work partner going into it? How did you get into cosplay? I already really answered that. The graphic novel, Bad Kids Go to Hell. And I did really have a partner in crime. Mackenzie was really my partner in crime when we started doing this, and Monica Rogue. They were really my partners in crime because they were with me through Bad Kids, and they kind of got the cosplay itch at the same time. So me and Mackenzie would do stuff together, and we would make plans and stuff, and we went to every convention together. And yeah, she went to Windsor, so we haven't been able to hang out much, but we have a lot of plans together in the future, like Buffy and Faith. And she's also gonna be at Niagara Falls Comic Con with me, which is gonna be like Mackenzie and Alana team up to, I don't know. Last question is, well, second last question. Alex Falk asks, silicone versus latex? Latex. I absolutely despise latex. That's another blooper. The last time I tried to use silicone, I literally put it on my face and it just went all down my face and all over my pants, and it looked like, yeah, I'm not even gonna say it, but yeah, it was bad. It looked like House of Wax, basically, was what it was. Latex is my god. Like, I love latex. It's my absolute favorite thing in the world. I will use it over anything. Beauty versus gore. Do I really need to answer that? Well, gore, obviously. Obviously gore. I don't really like doing beauty makeup. I'll do it, but I don't really like it. So gore, gore, gore. And like fantasy creature makeup. And last